with medicinal plants, I cannot give specific targeted medical advice. That's illegal. I'm not an MD. What I can tell you is the traditional uses and what Western science has found for the medicinal plants. If it sounds like I'm giving you medical advice, that's just a misunderstanding on your part. Please don't get me in jail. Thanks. I just want to confirm. May I dig this one up?
You may.
Okay, because it's all over here, but I just wanted, it's a little bit bigger, I'll fill up the hole. Okay, all over a farmer's pastures, you're going to find this right now. This is called curled dock, and it's a really tasty plant. And this actually looks like two in here. So curled dock. The only problem with this tool is I'm left-handed, and so I need the serrated side on it. But those people who are cursed to be right-handed, it works great for you. Wow.
Doesn't want to go.
No.
Want some help, sir?
No. We're going to see this over and over. So this is curled dock. There's multiple edible things in this. First are the leaves, and right now is a good time to eat the leaves. This one, the small one here where the edges are still rolled up, these are going to be the best. You just eat those raw, and they have a nice tangy, lemony sort of flavor to it. But even as they get bigger, I'd go about up to this size eating raw. But bigger than this, the center rib gets kind of tough. And so above this size, I'll fillet it, where I'll just cut off the center rib and then chop up the green leaf and throw it in whatever I'm cooking. But these little curled leaves are really good, just eaten raw. If you want to, I'll pass this around. You can actually, rip off a little bit of one of the bigger leaves, and you can actually taste it. I also want to flip it over. You see the root here. The root is huge. It has this bright yellow color. First, that bright yellow color was used as a dye for coloring things. But it also, there's chemicals in the root that stimulate the liver and the gallbladder, helps produce bile and the basic digestive fluids, and also is a kind of a liver cleanser, liver detoxifier. So a tea from this helps the liver. It kind of detoxifies, helps flush out any toxins, because your liver, its job is to start getting the toxins out of your blood. So it just kind of helps flush those out and moves them to the kidneys. It also stimulates the appetite. By stimulating the gallbladder, you produce more stomach acid, more bile, and so it triggers the desire to eat. And so if someone was sick, not feeling good, didn't have much of an appetite, they'd give them a tea made from this because it would trigger their appetite. And because they have more of the stomach acid and bile in there, they would more effectively break down the food that they did eat, and so they would get more nutrition from it. So it was like it made you hungrier, and you got more nutrition from the food than if you just normally would eat it. More recently, the root has become popular with fancy bartenders because the flavor is bitter. And so they've used it as a replacement for the bitters in mixed drinks. So if you go to some of the fancy restaurants in Dallas and so forth, I've worked with some of the bartenders up there coming up with mixed drinks, because I used to spend some time in bars. And so they just found it's a cool, bittering agent. It looks neat. It gives kind of a neat color to the alcohol and so forth. Going back to the leaves, and later on we'll see there's several varieties of these around. In the late winter, this will put up this long stalk, and it'll be covered with seeds. If you're driving around anywhere around here and you look out in a field like this, and you see these, they look like rust-colored spikes sticking out of the ground. That's the seed head of this, and each one produces thousands of seeds, and they're really good. But you have to treat them like the burr clover. So there'll be a bunch of capsules, and in each capsule there'll be 3 seeds. but you want to get the outer skin of that capsule away. So again, toasting it, grinding it in your hand, a little bit windier than it is now is all you need, or a fan set on medium, and you winnow the chaff away from the seed. With the seed, I'll just eat it raw because they're good, or sometimes I'll toast them. After I've toasted them, one of my favorite things though is mix it 50-50 with cream cheese and slap it on a Ritz cracker. That's really good. Like when you have potlucks at work and so forth, I'd always bring in wild foods, and it's one of the things that people really liked. Another thing you can do with these leaves, and you can even do with the bigger ones here. I have a Polish friend, and she hates me telling you this, but oh well. The Polish, they make what's called a sorrel or cream of sorrel soup. So this is in the sorrel family. It has this tangy lemon sort of flavor. So she'll take the leaves and she'll cook them down with cream and butter and wine and garlic and mushrooms and spend hours doing this. And the result is really good. It's this creamy, tangy, wonderful soup. I found if you take the leaves and chop them up and throw a can of Campbell's cream of mushroom soup, and a little bit of garlic and a dash of whatever wine you have on hand, it comes really, really close. It's really good. She hates that.
You just save multiple hours.
Yep. Lazy. If you want to know the easiest way of doing something, ask a lazy person. They figure that at work. That's why they give me all the work, because I figure out the fastest way of doing it. And then anyway, that's just they need to give me a raise. Seeds, leaves, root. Yeah, we've covered all the curled dock, so really handy. If anyone wants this, okay, don't drop it. You got to carry it the rest of the way and take it home. Oh yeah, pass it around. That'd even be better right now. Okay, also here we have this. This is another brown creeping plant. Pass this around. Feel it, look at it. Notice how hairy the stem is. Notice how there's roots coming out all along it. So you need to identify it that way from a toxic plant.
Carolina Bristle.
This is Carolina Bristle Mallow. Any Cajuns here? No Cajuns? Oh, we need Cajuns. Anyway, this is native plant, and the Cajuns found out that a tea made from this, an iced tea made from this, is actually pretty refreshing on a hot, humid, nasty Louisiana day. So you brew it like you would, let it dry for the 2 weeks first, crumble up, and then, make an iced tea from it, put it in your fridge or your ice box overnight, and the next day it's actually good. Usually you need to add some sugar to it. I do, and I got a sweet tooth. Bitter tooth, sweet tooth, it kind of works well together. So I add some sugar to it. I don't know how to describe the flavor. Cajuns like it. Let's put it that way. Carolina Bristle Mallow. So, and it's kind of unique in that it is the only member of its genus and species. It's kind of related to the mallow, but it is different enough. And the mallow is hibiscus. So, hibiscus is a mallow, cotton is a mallow, okra is a mallow. This is related to it, but not related enough to be in the same family, or sorry, the same genus, but it is the same family. It's biology. So I mentioned, if you feel it, the leaves are kind of rough and hairy, and we got the roots coming down from it all over. The reason I want to point that out is there is a mimic called creeping buttercup that probably will start showing up in December, and it looks very similar. It has a similar shaped leaf and sized leaf, and it grows mostly flat against the ground like this. This has an orange flower. The creeping buttercup has a yellow flower. The creeping buttercup, the leaves are shiny and green. They almost look plastic. They look like an artificial plant. And also the roots, well, it comes out as a rosette, so it'll have just one tap root. The Carolina, the toxic one, the poisonous one, the creeping buttercup will have one center tap root, and then it'll have the runners going out from that, but the runners never put down roots. Now the the creeping buttercup is poisonous. It's loaded with a chemical called ethylene glycol. Those of you that have cars may know that ethylene glycol is your antifreeze. And so you know that antifreeze is poisonous to a lot of animals. So now you get some Hollywood science. Back, I think it was 1983, a movie came out called Iceman with Jeff Bridges. And in it, the scientists found a caveman frozen in a glacier. They took him, they thawed him out, and he was alive. And they analyzed the contents of his stomach, and he found he had eaten a whole bunch of buttercups. And so the antifreeze from it kept his blood from freezing and kept him alive in this. It doesn't work that way.
Oh.
Trust me. We won't go into the hamster incident, but trust me. Okay, joking. There's no hamster involved. Oh, cool. Sorry. Oh, cool. Too funny. Sorry. So yeah, Carolina geranium, yardweed, rough, hairy, roots everywhere it touches the ground. Take it up, dry it, make an iced tea out of it. Just, I don't know, it has some refreshing, I don't know if there's some chemicals, there hasn't been a lot of research done into it, but it makes a refreshing iced tea. Okay, now for why I said cool. Oh, cool.